All right.
All right, hello,
Happy to
welcome
start.
to the Knox County Board of Commissioners, July 29th meeting. And glad to have you with us today after a hot week at the fair, and have a lot of great news in the economy, the growth and inflation. Growth is up in the economy, inflation's down. And for the first time since 2017, our government posted a $27 billion surplus. So that's pretty shocking. And today we have Human Resources Director Bethany Selmar with us. So Bethany, glad to have you with us today.
Actually, Knox County Transit.
Yes.
Did I say Knox
Yes.
County Transit?
You said
Sorry.
human resources.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Knox County Transit. Sorry about that.
That's fine. So we're gonna
She's coming in next.
Yes,
Yes.
well,
Yes.
that's good. Good. Let the good times
Yes.
roll. Well, I'll give you a little transit update. I have numbers for June and July, just to run through what we've been doing, for this summer. We've actually had quite a few really big things going on. So we've been really busy. June, we kicked off a soft opening of our routes, our flex routes in Mount Vernon. So we have 4 routes that cycle on a half an hour loop, and they all interconnect, and they are fare free, and they run on timetables as well. So there are fixed stops, but then there's also the ability to schedule a ride to come by your house if you are in the range. So
In the loop, you mean?
in the loop. So it's a half a mile
Okay.
from a stop or
Okay.
from the route. So it pretty much covers everything north of the river for Mount Vernon. Out till about Riverside Park and out until about Upper Gilchrist, go that kind of range. So we've had phenomenal usage. I put some goals together of where I'd like to see us in 6 months with rolling out new routes. It's a new service. People have to get used to it. They have to get the timetables and where they're going. And ideally, we'd like to be around 100 to 120 trips per day on all of these routes in combination. And within the first 2 weeks, we were seeing 80 riders a day.
Nice.
And the total for June, we had 813 riders. In June, the goal was about 1,000. So to be that close to our 6-month goal in the initial rollout month was amazing. July so far, we've already had 1,200
Wow,
trips.
good for you.
Yeah,
Bethany, those times and stuff are on your website.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah.
just,
And we have an interactive map on the
Right.
website, so you can
It's
click
just
on
the
each
location
route.
of the bus still?
That's not up and running yet.
Okay.
Can you give that website just real quick?
Yeah, knoxcountytransit.com.
Andrew, maybe could you pull that up
Yeah,
for us?
We were talking
Furniture.
about actually a virtual
If the mouse works.
yes,
Bus.
that is,
Yeah.
I have given them the programming language for it, and this is where it gets real technical. And the company is still working on getting that GPS data to appear. So
Sorry.
that's like phase 2 of the.
So while we're pulling that up, I'm sure you have your ear to the ground. What's the news on any funding? Are you hearing anything about funding as far as your department's concerned?
So we did get our award announcement came out on July 1st for this next fiscal year. So we're on the state fiscal year with that. And it's a little weird. The funding didn't actually get cut, but we did get a smaller amount because there are 2 new transits in the state of Ohio. So there's one amount of money that's allocated for Ohio Rural Transit. And the more transits you have, the smaller everybody's piece of
Sure.
cake gets, basically. So it's my understanding, that there's a 2-year cycle from the federal money, and this is the 2nd year of that federal money. So it'll be next year.
Okay.
And really next October is when the federal budget is being
Did
passed.
the decrease put a pinch on you or not enough?
Yeah, and so it was, it's about $146,000 in operating funds less than what we've had this year. So, obviously, when you're trying to budget and you're looking at costs going up, that's gonna
Yeah.
hurt. There's no buffer for that. And I I didn't know what was going to happen, so I was actually planning ahead. So I had about 3 drivers leave in the spring and I didn't fill their positions and we tried to hold tight until the announcement came out. So we've gone from having 18 full-time drivers to 15 full-time drivers, but we're already there. The other section that is we're kind of slimming down a little bit is the dispatch room. So we had 6 full-time people and I think we're gonna end up with maybe 4 full-time people. So I tried to be planning ahead, seeing that this might be coming, so.
So
we should
that
be able-
will in turn probably give you a decrease in fleet numbers, unit numbers. So.
Yeah, so the way that we're running this, we're not gonna cut any hours, but it's just the amount of the availability during the day.
Yeah.
So that's where having the routes is a huge advantage.
Sure.
Because there's no denials for that. Those are running no matter what.
Sure.
If you can't get in the on demand and you're in Mount Vernon, if you can get to a route, you still have transportation.
Sure, yeah.
So that's
perfect.
where the timing of this, we were trying to coordinate it all to line up. The one other thing is Saturdays, we have decided to eliminate 2 shifts. So the hours are still the same, but it's less availability on the Saturday.
You have not changed your hours, is that correct?
Correct. So it's all running, it's just how many buses we have on the roads and how many drivers we have.
Good job.
Right now, we still are seeing availability to book.
All right, good job.
So, yeah,
Speaking of
thank
that,
you.
there's your
That was a
transit
very nice-
sites, it shows the routes here. We can make this easy for people so that they can take advantage of our transit system.
I think it'll be exciting when you do get the GPS, so you can
Yes,
actually
yeah,
bus virtually.
that will be nice. I think if you click on services and scroll down, I think that's the best place to get to that map. It'll take a little bit to pop up here. Just. Yeah, see, it's been. There we go. So there you can see all of the routes. You can click on which one you're interested in, or you can click on the map. And so if you want to go to Walmart, that's the Kenyon one. If you go to Coshocton Express, you can see all of the times that we will be at all the stops. If you scroll down, you can see what will be available or where they are. It'll be in blue, around 10 o'clock.
So on this map, Bethany, help me out. The transit building, Kroger, Dollar General, Walmart, those are your pickup and drop offs connection spots.
Yes,
Okay.
those are the stops that we're aiming to hit on those times, and then there's time built in between to pick up and drop off. If someone wants to go to Aldi, or
Right.
they need to go to Lowe's, or picking up on Syker Road, we're going right past it, so we can swing by and we can pick you up. So we've had a lot of positive feedback. It doesn't change much for our riders, which is nice, and it is a more organized loop, and it kind of groups people together so that we're able to pick up multiple people from Walmart at the same time. So they're definitely a work in progress still. They are still a pilot program. We have a few tweaks that we already know that we want to do. Maybe at the 6-month mark, we'll, maybe eliminate a few stops or add a few stops. I would also like to add a route south of the river. There is a grant application open right now for workforce transportation. And so if you are if you are expanding your operations, it has to be a brand new operations, and it has to be related to a workforce site, which would be the industrial park. I can apply for funding to expand my operations.
I can see some of the areas south of the river that would probably use your.
Yeah, we have some regular riders along Columbus Road and just different neighborhoods there. So we're drafting that to see if we can make sure we can get through those neighborhoods, also hit the industrial park, and then
Sure.
get back and see if we can get that funding. That will help us a lot. That might offset what we lost, actually. So And then that would give us a fifth route to really connect all of Mount Vernon. And that would feed into the others so that you could get all the way across town. So that's the strategic goal. That's where we are. We just did phase one though with the initial routes and they're going really, really well.
And I would say Bethany is working with the web developer. This is cell phone, I guess, whatever you want to call that, but capable. If you
Yeah.
pull this up on your phone,
Yeah.
the site does condense down to a cell phone. Eventually, we do want to have printed stock material that you would have these times for each of these routes, because we realize not everybody that uses transit has internet or uses internet.
Yeah, you can put them at your locations.
We
where you
do,
Drop
but-
off and pick.
But as Bethany just said, we're kind of in the pilot phase, so we really hate to
Spend the
spend the
money.
money to get all of that printed out in stock and then, oh,
Change it.
we didn't like that,
Yeah.
route time's gonna change.
It's not gonna
And now the
work, right.
material's out, and it's bad material, so we're not going down that route yet.
Right.
Still in a pilot, right?
When we think we've got them where they need to be, then we are gonna put some high quality printed material out at the library and
Sure.
different
Mhm.
places to let people have that card that will have the times on there for the pickup and drop off.
So the new routes they're actually more efficient financially, but they're more efficient for people as well. So economically.
Yes, I mean, that's the way that we're trying to work on it, yes. We're still at a population level where they're not busy, all the routes are not busy all the time, and that's just not where our ridership is anyway. Maybe Mount Vernon will grow to a point where we're going to need that, but as far as offsetting what we were doing in on demand, it is a more efficient and effective.
Well, most area transits run by schedule. They don't run by phone call. You either go and get picked up at a spot or dropped off at a spot. You can't make a phone call and be like, hey, I'm over here at O'Reilly's Automotive Park. I'm kidding.
So would it be a proper statement to tell people to take advantage of these routes so that they don't go away?
Absolutely,
so the routes are
absolutely,
around.
right,
Well,
As
that
well
free
as-
is free.
you know,
Mhm.
right. as
But
well
if we
as-
don't see them being well
Yes,
used, we
yes,
would probably.
Yes, or especially in your area, you know, if we're not seeing a lot of usage in the stops in your area, then those might get eliminated and shifted, so make sure that we're utilizing that and certainly anybody in the community that wants to support, there's several ways to support or even advertise or sponsor these to make sure that we can still fund them and keep them going.
And I think this, I've told Bethany, this is tremendous amount of work by her and her team, because when we talked about this a couple of years ago, it was just an idea and. To get it to here, and obviously the next phase is to get the bus interactive so you can actually see where it's at, and that'll come later, but. We knew that every meeting the commissioners would go to, there was, the first thing that came up, lack of childcare, lack of transportation. That was over and over and over again, and we knew that can't just keep expanding transit. We don't have the dollars, so
Right.
this is a way to provide more rides, but without maybe more buses, more staff to keep the cost, because we're not gonna get more funding. So we know that. So we gotta figure out how to do more with less. And I think these fixed routes are giving us an opportunity to do that. And I think the ridership just has to get used to it. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
people will adapt if you stick to your guns.
well, and when we met with the marketing firm, they kept talking to Bethany about legacy riders. So those are your riders that have been with you from the beginning, and those are the ones that are maybe gonna be harder to
Right.
transition because they're kind of used to the way
Mhm.
it was. So I think once you do it and you have proof of concept and people get on it and realize it works, it's gonna be a little bumpy at first. We know that, but you're not gonna just launch these and it's gonna be on time and perfect right out of the gate, but I think we're heading in the right direction.
They're air conditioned, right?
Yes, right?
Bethany, I have two more questions for you. The age of the fleet, how are we there?
It is, I think I have about 9 or maybe 11 buses that we could have, should have gotten rid of already at this point.
So that leads into the next question before the other question. Are we watching those maintenance wise to make sure that suddenly we're not spending more money on maintenance than it would be to repurchase?
Right. Right, yes. The thing about the buses is that after COVID and all the logistics and the building of the buses, the price skyrocketed.
Mhm.
So at this point, my local match portion is 30,000. So I need to have $30,000 in local funds to be able to purchase one bus. So I would love to replace 9, but there's no way.
So you need $270,000 you're saying to replace.
Right, now
It
that
used to
is
be around,
not
what, 10 or 15 was our.
8,
local
the
match.
first
8,
bus
yeah.
that I had in 2023, we paid 8,000 for, so.
So Jason, when you start getting to the point, what's the reaction for us at that point then? When
Well-
these are starting to time out mechanically versus.
Yeah, well, historically, Bethany's funding that she gets through local match again. Through contracts and services locally, net program, all the other things, we can use that funding to put towards there.
But then I can't use it for operations,
She can't
so
use it
it's
for operation,
like.
right, so it's a
Their
finance,
budget.
so it just comes down to then, what we've done is we've tried to. Replace a couple of them, and the commissioners have helped with some of that match and when needed, but that's not the long-term solution,
Yeah,
So,
And we've also talked
Yeah.
about downsizing the fleet a
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah.
She's talked
Yeah.
about that, and
I mean,
the sizes of the buses,
Buses, yeah.
downsizing
Right.
those. a
yeah,
little
we've
bit.
had conversations.
Yes,
about-
with set routes, and then also I noticed, I was headed to Fredericktown and there was one person on one of the larger ones, and it might have been going to a doctor's appointment, which is important, or something they need to go to work,
yeah.
but it could have been a smaller unit for one
Right.
person.
Depending on whether they're in a wheelchair.
Well, the reason why, so one of our big revenue sources in the summer is group trips. So we have trips of kids that go to the pool every day, multiple organizations. So it's very difficult and actually inefficient to have a driver who's gonna do that group trip, then come back and switch out their bus. It's more efficient to just have them run their route and then pick up that big group and then drop them off. And we have multiple group trips in the day so that we are using those 18 seats.
So he might have dropped off 15 kids
Yes,
at the pool, and now he's
probably,
picking up one
right.
person back to Fredericktown,
Yeah.
but it's better than driving back to the
Yeah.
center, switching the
Yeah.
bus to go back and get it.
Exactly. Exactly. So we don't normally in the, once fall hits or whatever, September, you're not gonna see as many of those big buses. Those are just for the group trips this summer.
So the other question is, I know you've wrapped one of them. Are we considering wrapping any of the other ones? Or are we gonna wait to a replacement before we spend money wrapping?
Right, so we're not wrapping, there's about 10 that I'm not going to wrap
Because they're
because I'm
gonna-
just gonna sell them. Yeah. And if we start to get into major issues, transmission issues, engine issues, that's when we start to look at, is it even worth it or do I
Right.
just sell it? So we've had that conversation on several vehicles. We're not getting them wrapped. We are going to get them sold. We do have to meet a threshold of number of years and number and amount of mileage before we can sell. So, and then we have to get ODOT approval. So
Well, unfortunately, what you're doing to those cars is probably the hardest thing on a car, the start, stop, start, stop, start, stop.
Right.
Now, we get the funding, once you
Good.
sell them, we get to keep the revenue
Yes,
from
that
this, and
is-
then we
yeah.
can put it towards the purchase of a new bus, but you
Exactly.
might have to sell
Right.
5 of them to get it.
Well,
To buy one.
Of course, with prices increasing, you did it,
We
probably hold
did.
our, retain a lot some of our value.
yeah.
So my,
So I can sell them for about 10,000. I mean, so that's something,
And a new
that
one's 30.
So
Right.
you get one.
so my last question, have we ever
We get 3 new
considered
ones from so 9.
advertisement on the buses? For companies to advertise on those? so we
Yes.
can Pick up money?
Yes, so we are, we have entered a partnership with Pathways 211. And, they were able to get funding to advertise on the back of all of our buses or 20 of our buses. So they have a whole package to be advertising for the year. And that is, going to be giving us $30,000
Gotcha.
revenue. So.
You know, we were trying to not,
Make it look like a
Make it
NASCAR.
a NASCAR.
Well, there's that, yeah.
NASCAR, I want the hood, I want the top, I want the
So
hood, I want
we
the
kind
right.
of designed the new bus to give us the back of the bus or some areas, but we also want to make sure that if we're entering into those contracts, they're potentially for a longer term, so we're not
Right,
spending money to put a decal on
And
it
then
and
taking it
taking it
off.
back off.
so we put it on, we don't charge the company or firm to put it, to.
They buy the decals, right? And then they
Yeah.
put them on.
Yeah.
But we talked about maybe a better solution is there are in some of the buses, I think you have, or you were gonna put like a small television screen in the
Yeah.
back of the bus. And maybe you do some advertising
See,
on that.
I don't know where I was at, but
where you can
one
change
of
it
their, I saw one, I'm visiting my son, I don't remember what town we were in, but their transit had like a digital billboard on the back of their bus.
Wow.
It said whatever.
Yeah.
In New York, cabs have all those, things for you to
digital
watch and
screen,
advertisements and
yeah,
things in there.
yeah.
I don't,
So-
our routes are probably short enough that maybe, I don't know if that's doable. That's the
Right.
equipment costs money
Right,
and all those,
yes.
all the.
Yes, you have to
Thank
get
you
a
for
grant for
answering,
that.
thank you for
Yeah.
answering my question.
So the 9 that we had that we need to sell, you could buy 3 for selling the 9, right?
Mhm. Generally, yes,
Generally
you
speaking,
know, I mean,
right.
If
These
the world aligns.
Since we, yeah, since we reduced some of the routes, we put a more consistent route,
Mhm.
we probably could go ahead and sell those.
Mhm. Yeah, so I am looking at downsizing. It's a matter of just that balance of, like I said, we have a lot of group trips. There are some days where we do use all 5 or 6 of our CDL buses, but is it worth it to keep them all year for a few days of revenue? I have to do those calculations, but we will be reducing the number of CDL buses that we have and then, and yeah.
And
So,
those buses can be used then when you need ADA, you
mhm,
know.
yeah.
more, and you have
Yeah.
less of those and more of the other ones.
Yeah, I mean, all of them have the lift, all of them are ADA accessible and the vans included. It's a little more difficult to use the vans too. That's the other difficult part is, it can be hard to get some of the wheelchairs in to a van. And then once your wheelchair folks are in there, there's only one other seat. So then you kind of lose your efficiency to be able to group 4 people together. And so that's been the challenge because initially I was like, we're using the vans all the time. And then it was like, oh, this is actually really difficult to manage. And it becomes more administrative heavy in trying to
Time-consuming.
manage that versus the small.
Before we let you go, how many people are you looking to hire?
Mm. It's a
I
great
want people to hear
question.
that. It's part-time and full-time, right? You're looking for part and full-time?
I'm still looking for a part-time driver. I think we need 2 part-time drivers.
Okay.
And then I am looking for a full-time transit specialist, which that's the dispatch room. And then a part-time transit specialist.
So
So that,
you are looking to hire
yeah, 3 or 4,
3 or 4
3 or
people.
4 people, yes.
I just wanted for anybody watching to know that you have the opportunity.
And that's at knoxcountytransit.com also,
Mhm.
so they get job opportunities as well as schedules and routes.
Right, right,
Are you excited about the transit center?
I am. And actually, I had 2 other things. One, oh, sorry, site's gone, but I, don't worry
You
about it.
still
No,
got
you
it
got it.
there.
I did want to just mention to folks, if you're having trouble getting through on the phones, so this is another area of efficiency, not just in the driving, but in the office, right? We have people that answer the phones. So we are trying to streamline those processes, and that's why we have a schedule a ride on knoxcountytransit.com. Go to the website, enter in your information. You don't have to call, you don't have to wait.
Yeah, so you get
The same
schedule
advantage
right.
with the routes, you don't have to call in, you can just get on the
So
stuff.
they just hit that tab, schedule
Right.
that,
Right.
and get a route.
Right,
Skip.
so this might be in the next, we've had a little bit of feedback recently that it's been harder to get through because we do have less staff in there. You can schedule a ride through this form and we will be responsive, and this is really probably the easiest way right now to get scheduled. And You don't even have to mess with the phone calls. So that's something that we're also trying to retrain and direct people towards so that we're just kind of reducing the number of phone calls to same day or cancellation calls and getting things scheduled this way. Um, the other really, really big thing, this is actually a really, really big day because we are kicking off our new software today. Today is, we are all in.
Congratulations.
And yes, thank you. It's been huge. This month's been really, really busy in getting everybody trained and up to speed. There are a lot of advantages to this new software, and we are really, really excited because it is going to create more efficiencies. It's going to work better. It's going to be better for the riders. It's better for the drivers. One of the big things that we're doing is it has automated phone calls. So the night before, everybody's gonna get a phone call to say what time we are going to be picking them up. And then there's also an on the way phone call, and the driver hits a button when they are heading your direction. And it is smart enough that it knows where the driver is GPS wise and where the address is it's heading, and it says, we will be there in 5 minutes.
So you're like
2
a
minutes.
pizza delivery
That's
shop now.
Yeah, like this is raising the bar.
Yeah.
So, that kind of communication has been really, really difficult to foster and grasp, and especially when you have limited staff.
Yeah.
So this system is going to help us out quite a bit. It also, if people get a phone call and they don't need their trip, they can cancel it. So we can stay on top of availability. And if there's better communication for the drivers as well. There's more information that they can see.
That's nice.
There's a lot of stuff on the tablets under our old system that they really didn't know. They didn't know what time people needed to be to work, and there was no good way to communicate it, which is mind blowing to me why that wouldn't be on the tablet. So we're really, really excited. We were also pretty stressed. Like, doing new software is really, really difficult. So it's so far this morning has been very, very smooth, and people are really excited, and we're also just doing a cookout to celebrate. So if you want to come over and get
So the only question I have, since you almost have all these initiatives that we've talked about, what are you gonna do with your free time?
actually have free time.
So, I would like it, I would actually like to go for a ride on one of these routes. Is there a good day and time?
Yeah, any day, anytime, come.
Yeah.
We should do a
Absolutely.
commissioner.
And do the transfers and get, go from the BMV to Kroger or KCH, and yeah, absolutely. We'll get you a ride.
Yeah.
We'll get you some route rides.
Yeah,
So
I'd like to
yeah,
just
just
experience.
experience it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you for your hard work. And how
absolutely.
do corporate sponsors get involved with you and help us to fund this locally so we have more business, more employees, more people
Yeah.
coming in and taking advantage of all the things that are in Knox County?
Absolutely. My email is on knoxcountytransit.com, or the contact form goes to me as well. So reach out, and so we will find a way to partner together to keep it going. We actually our numbers are up to 45% employment rise. So we are.
So
almost
have you
half the
told
job.
these employers that you're meeting with that without some type of participation from the community and the businesses, that some of this may go away if you're not sponsored correctly, and
Yeah.
they still don't respond in a positive way? It's interesting.
People have budgets,
Yeah.
This
As
is-
you well know.
Right, so I can't fault them for that. So,
No,
yeah,
but the
It's-
budget's no good if you don't have employees to work.
that's true.
Right.
So
Right.
that's why I say maybe we'll get
We'll
involved.
just keep at it. Maybe it's even a newer conversation, so it just has to happen a few times. I know that most people don't know how we're funded,
Right.
and they don't realize that there's the local match portion, that it's 50%, and that we have to earn the money. There's a lot of false information that was around the community about it, or
Well,
people think you just raise your fares and that's not gonna do us any good, that's gonna lose us funding. Or, that we're lining our pockets. We are not, we are running as slim as we possibly can, and that's been the goal to get it as efficient as possible. So, yeah, I think it's just gonna take a little bit of time.
Thank you so much for all that
Thank
you're
you.
doing. We really
Nice
appreciate
job,
the great
Beth.
report. Thank you. And
I'll be out to take a ride here, so.
Yeah, it's good to, that'll be fun. Thank you.
and enjoy the day. It's a great, great big celebration, right?
Yes, it is. Come on out for a burger if you'd like.
Oh, are you celebrating with food? It's funny how that works in America. Come on out for food.
Thank you. Have a good
Thank
day.
you, Beth.
Appreciate your work.
Yeah, come on out,
Knox County.
come on out for some food.
Courtney ready?
He's up there, yep.
All right, wonderful.
Well, hey, Courtney,
Hello.
morning.
Good to see you. How are you today?
Thank you, I'm well, and yourself?
Very well, thank you. So I appreciate you being here. I accidentally said that Bethany was with you. I looked down and said human resources, but I know she's been transit. You're doing a great job. Tell us what's going on, human resources.
Or, so some of the strategic engagements and events we've had recently, Ohio Means Jobs, Knox County, their summer youth program. There were about 27 students as well as their instructors that came by on July 3rd to learn about what we do here in the building and county government. So I want to thank Matt Bogger, Blake Ward, and Cindy for coming over and talking about their respective departments, recycling, litter prevention, IT, and Cindy works in JFS in the Child Support Services Office. Lots of great questions from the students, so we appreciated having that time to talk about what we do. And then following up just a short time later on July 17th, we had, well, there were 32 participants of Leadership Knox coming through for their government day. I know they stopped at the courts and Board of Elections, and they had about 40 minutes with us. My thanks to Cameron Keaton and Tyler Moore for being there as well to talk about the dog shelter and the engineer's office. Again, really great questions, figuring out what we all do in this building, how we serve the public, how we're funded, things of that nature. So we appreciate them coming by. And coming up, we have an HR partnership meeting on August 7th. That's anyone in the county whose role is it to do payroll or some, personnel functions in their respective offices. We come together and talk about what's going on, if they need some advice or, pain points that we need to work through. It's just an opportunity for us to get together and talk about what's going on and how we can make things better for them.
I will tell you,
great.
Chip McConville, myself, and JT were on the panel over there that
Oh,
day.
yeah.
That was a really good turnout for that class. I think they had 32 or 35 people there.
Yeah.
So
They
they didn't ask many questions,
They
but
didn't.
not to us. I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah,
You must
Amy
have
asked some
answered.
questions. Amy asked some questions of the board, but they had a really nice class there.
They did. So, talking about our employee wellness and benefits. Benefits Plus, we've been talking with Benefits Plus, Pam and I. It's a subsection of the County Commissioners Association of Ohio in tandem with SEBCO, to provide supplemental benefits, life insurance, things of that nature. We haven't offered supplemental benefits to our employees for a few years now, so we're exploring that option. We have another call with them at 11:30 just to ask some follow-up questions. And as soon as I have all that data, then I will get that to you to review and approve. But we're excited to possibly change vendors. We're gonna have a little bit of savings with the life insurance that we would offer to the employees, about a 9% savings to the
Yep.
county.
Is that through CCAO?
Correct, yes. Yeah, subsidiary of CCAO. It's called Benefits Plus.
And we currently offer 25,000 coverage to employees,
20.
20,000 in coverage that's just to all county employees. So that, switching to that will save us, as Courtney said, 9%. But then it'll also allow us to offer supplemental life, which we haven't done that for years.
We have that dental, vision, those type of benefits? or
No, we're talking short-term disability, cancer riders,
I see.
hospital stays, things of that nature that if folks want to take out supplemental benefits to help them out if those situations arise, then they will have an opportunity.
Like Aflac.
Yeah.
basically.
Correct.
And the employee will pay all of that, but we currently don't even offer any of that, which we've had employees asking Courtney for some time.
Yeah.
So,
And it would be an automatic withdrawal from their paycheck. And then this is also portable. So if they were to leave county employment, they're able to take those policies with them. Previously, that hadn't been the case necessarily with the supplementals that had been offered. So we're just excited to.
Yeah, they're
learn
paying
more.
for it out of their pocket, so they could carry it with them.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. We would still cover the employees, help their life insurance. But if they wanted to, up the benefit amount for their dependents, then they are able to do that. Right now, it's just a set amount that they pay, but if they would like a little more or a less, then they're able to adjust those numbers for what fits for them and their families. So.
and kind of the benefit, so the issue we had several years ago was that we had kind of a rule within the county that the commissioners adopted on behalf of the auditor that said, if we offer any of these supplemental plans, we have to have at least 10% of the employees sign up, or we're not gonna offer them through payroll deduction. Well, at that point, you had, an Aflac policy that was standalone. So if you didn't have 10%, then we'd have a supplemental life that was a different company. So we had all these different companies, and the 10% rule to get each one of those was difficult, so we kind of eliminated it. Well, with going through CCAO, they're gonna send us one bill for all the supplemental plans. So if you got 4 people to sign up for a cancer plan and 20 people to sign up for a short-term disability plan, when you put them all together, we're not gonna have any issue probably with 10% because it's one company. So that's kind of a benefit.
Yeah, and it should be, logistically a little easier for our auditor's office, because they will get one invoice for the life insurance, which they already do, but then they'll just get one more invoice for supplementals. It's not gonna be individual invoices. So hopefully that will make it easier for them to process. So we would, if it's accepted, then we would have our own open enrollment period for the supplemental benefits. We'd likely do that in October, right before the medical open enrollment, because I don't want people to misunderstand what those two offerings are. But we would have folks on site helping to inform employees about their options like that. So more to come on that. Our wellness year for 2024-2025 ended at the end of June. Bear in mind that medical facilities, doctors have 60 days to submit claims. So employees may be going into anthem.com or the Sydney app to see if they've completed all of their wellness initiatives. And if it was done, later in June, it may not be popping up yet for them. So just be patient, because they do have 60 days to get those claims sent in. So as soon as we have the final data, we'll let employees know who was able to reach all of those wellness initiatives. We appreciate everyone's participation. So we've now gone into the new wellness year, July 1st through June 30th. And we're starting out with lunch and learn. PM has set up on August 27th at noon. KCH's personnel is going to come out and talk about understanding food labels. So reading the food labels and understanding what all that jargon means and how to make good and healthy choices.
It'd be nice to just remove a lot of those chemicals. You travel to Canada, they don't have all those paragraphs of chemicals.
Gotcha. We also have the health fair going to be on October 2nd at the Memorial Building, and Pam is working on getting vendors and things set up for that. I also wanted to let you know that the SEBCO renewal meeting is going to be virtual at the end of August. And after that meeting is when each county will receive its individual renewal notice. So shortly after that, the 1st of September, we should be getting information about what our renewal looks like for the next year for the medical, dental, and vision insurances. Questions about that? Okay. Workplace safety. So Andrea Sellers, worked with EMA to do walkthroughs through the service center, each of the offices, to talk about continuity of operations plans. So JT and Amy with emergency management, along with Andrea, went and spoke with each office. And we're encouraging each of them to complete that COOP or, continuity of operations plan, by September if possible. It's coming up fast. A template was sent out to everyone in the building, and then now we're gonna start scheduling with, buildings around the area and then spread out to like transit and the dog shelter, things like that. So that each of the offices has that continuity of operations plan in case there's an emergency, everyone knows what they need to do. And this is great timing because Ohio Preparedness Month is in September. So Andrea and I are gonna work on some activities that we can send out to the department heads and elected officials to encourage them to maybe do a fire drill during that first week of September, or, practice your tornado drill, practice where you're gonna go for your rendezvous point if you have an active threat situation. So we'll be sending out some materials on that ahead of September and encourage everybody to please be prepared as possible. I wanted to let you know that we received our rebate for attending the requisite amount of Knox County Safety Council meetings, and that new Safety Council year starts in July. So we have that going. Defensive driving course, Andrea is gonna set that up. We're aiming for October. This is something we encourage all new employees to attend the in-person training if possible. We do ask everybody to do a defensive driving online course. It's about an hour within 30 days of when they're employed, but this is a great opportunity for a little more intensive training on defensive driving. And then the Corsa HR training, which is a requirement for all department heads and elected officials, is scheduled for October 23rd. So,
And Penny, do we have that on our,
yes.
and we typically do that on Commissioner Day, so all of you can attend that, because we get through course of. That's one of our credits we get back based on how many people attend that training.
Yes, so they're aiming for 80% or more participation by all departments and elected officials in that meeting. And normally we have a really robust turnout, which I appreciate.
It's because you bring breakfast. We
do encourage folks to attend with some coffee and
It's amazing what food will
some
do.
fruit and pastry, so we'll keep that going for you. Right now, we're actively recruiting for full-time dispatcher in our 911 center. There's a few options if you'd like to join our JFS team. We're looking for some eligibility referral specialists and public assistants. And then we also need ongoing caseworker and intake caseworker in our Child Protective Services wing. As you just heard, Knox County Transit is looking for some folks. Engineer has both highway workers and mechanics that they're sourcing. Patrol deputies for the sheriff's office, and Knox County Board of DD is looking for a full-time service and support administrator. So we encourage anyone who's looking for a job opportunity with the county to please go on the county's website.
Where are you getting the best response for these? Is there a certain media area, is it Indeed? Is it that you're getting the best response from for these job applications?
Indeed.
Openings? Indeed.
It really depends on the kind of job that you're
Right.
looking for. But indeed, we get quite a robust.
That's where your
response.
best is.
Yeah, and anyone that submits their application, or submits their resume through Indeed, we're encouraging them to please go online to the county's website and complete the employment application. If that is, if they're not able to do that, then we send them a copy of the employment application for them to fill out, so we have that as well as their resume.
Good, thank you.
And is there a direct to straight to HR through the website?
If you look at the top heading, there's one that says employment. So if you click on that, it'll take you directly to all of those job postings that are currently open. We also use Ohio Means Jobs Indeed, LinkedIn, the CCAO has a job posting site. If it's,
You can go to county commissioner's website and look at employment also, I think. Isn't that on there?
Yeah, that's what she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, yeah.
So we have many opportunities.
yes, there's lots of places for folks to see who we're needing. So we encourage them to take a look, and if their knowledge, skills, and abilities fit those factors, then encourage them to apply.
So we're not having much turnover, Courtney, is it my correct in hearing that, or maybe assuming that?
No, June, we did 4 interviews, we onboarded 7, and we offboarded 10.
So you're -3.
In July, we interviewed 3. Now, that's just interviews that we were a part of. That's not to say that there were only 3 interviews
No, no, no.
conducted in the county, right? Onboarding in July was 12, offboarding was 12.
So push.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And FMLA cases, currently we're monitoring 21. But we hover around the mid to high 20s of cases that we're monitoring.
FMLA.
FMLA, correct.
Hmm.
That's what I have. Questions, concerns, feedback?
Oh, great job, thank you.
Very good. Sounds like the course change is gonna be good for the supplements.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yes.
We're excited.
Is there anything we can do to help you?
I don't think so, but if I think of something, I'll let you know.
Reach out to Brenda.
Okay, all right. So noted.
Everyone does a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I
Thanks,
appreciate
We
it.
appreciate your hard work.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. You too. All right, we have some resolutions. What's up?
So we have approve a reappointment of Julia Suggs to the Public Library of Mount Vernon Board. Again, this is a reappointment.
Motion to approve.
I second it. All in favor, say aye.
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 We approve amendment to the contract between the Knox County Department of Job and Family Services and the Winter Sanctuary for an additional 15,000 in emergency shelter services. Just to point out, this is TANF money, and this is will increase the contract and not to exceed 30,000. I spoke to JFS director. They've had needed some additional funding at the Winter Sanctuary, had some families in crisis that were requiring some hotel stays and those kinds of things, and that's what this.
For public knowledge, what and where is Winter Sanctuary?
They are located, we're sure, we can probably know where they're located.
So West Vine, is it? Is it West
Is it
Vine?
West Vine where they're at?
It's temporary housing, right, for people that are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
West Vine, okay.
And this,
Shelter.
once you approve, will require your signatures.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Motion,
You gonna second it?
yes,
All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Okay, and then we have a memorandum of agreement with Job and Family Services and the Licking County Job and Family Services for childcare provider licensing and inspection services not to exceed $20,000. I spoke to Scott Boone, the director, this morning. This is relating to some staffing and retirements they have in their department, and instead of kind of rehiring that, they're going to shift some of those duties out to the Opportunity Knox office. And then in lieu of kind of filling these, they're gonna then obviously have Licking County help with some of those inspection services. So this is obviously a cost savings to the county by doing that. So
Motion to
Motion to
approve.
approve.
Second. Aye.
Okay.
Guys.
All in favor, say aye.
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 so you're ready to sign that too.
Okay.
And then we have the approve of Sheriff's Office inmate telephone services agreement with Inmate Calling Solutions. And this is for just the telephone system, obviously, at the jail that the inmates use.
Same one we have now, when it's a renewal.
Believe
Is that
so,
correct?
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Same price.
Yep.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
That one will just require one signature when you're ready
Okay.
to sign. Then we have a Sheriff's Office Commissary Services Agreement with FE Commissary Network LLC. Again, this is paid for through the commissary funds, and it's a renewal.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then an agreement with Burgess and Nyepel for the county engineer. This is to load rate 84 bridges in the amount of $168,200.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Right. And then now we've got utility permits. The first one is Brightspeed in Danville, Ohio, Union Township.
Motion to approve.
I second it. All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
And then a utility permit, Brightspeed, and this is in Howard, Union Township.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Aye.
And then we have another one with Brightspeed on Brinkhaven Road, Danville, Union Township.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Two more. We've got Brightspeed on Bickley Road, Danville, Union Township.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
Aye.
And then the last one is Brightspeed on Zion Road, Gambier, Ohio, College Township.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Alright.
And Penny is gonna have a stack of minutes for you to approve, and then we do have we don't need a resolution, but the depository income to enter it into the record. We had general fund, revenue of $188,976.92. We'll just enter in that to the permit. And then you have, one transfer, a couple. And then the bill list, and I think that's all I've got for you today.
Okay. And Darren, do you have any comments?
No.
No, all right. And I know you were at the fair, and it was a hot week.
It's not.
Okay, very good. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.